Shalom Israel 2.0 family, Chanukah Sameach. I'd like to share a brief thought on Hanukkah. Hanukkah always falls at the time of the year when we read the parshas that describe the episode of Yosef and the brothers. And this is the story, the source of the schism within the Jewish people. The story describes how the brothers were very jealous and ultimately they wanted to kill his brother Yosef. Now, our sages say that this story that always falls at the same time that Hanukkah happens has a connection to Hanukkah. Now, Hanukkah is known as the story of Israel, the Jewish people, triumphing against the Greek army, the Hasmonaim against the Greeks. But a more mature understanding of the story of Hanukkah reveals that Hanukkah, as a matter of fact, was a civil war against Jews who were traditional and still very connected to their values, and the Jews who embrace Jewish Greek culture. And there was a very strong tension between the two groups. It is here where the connection, begins, because obviously the story of Yosef and the brothers is the story of this schism, of this battle within ourselves. And at the center of the saga is the character of Yosef. Yosef, who's known as two dimensions. Yosef Hasadik in the one hand, the man who resists the temptation, the moral personality, the person with integrity, the Sadik. But at the same time, Yosef has a dimension which is very interesting, a dimension that describes him as beautiful, as very attractive, of a person of grace, a person who is a dreamer, a person very charming. So it is this kind of like duality which we wrestle in the entire saga. And the brothers were very suspected of his dimension, the second one. They said this person is very vain. This person is very into himself. This person is very into the physical and to his desires. He's going to lead us to immorality. He's going to lead us to idolatry. And he ultimately is going to lead us to destruction, assimilation. What they didn't see and they failed to appreciate was that Yosef had, it's true, it had all those dimensions, but he was also Yosef Hasadik, as we mentioned. He was rooted in his connection to God. He had a foundation of integrity. He was very, very solid on his values and his foundation. And I think that this is the story of Hanukkah and the episode of Yosef, that it teaches us that as long as we have our connection to God strong and is a foundation and is central and is primal in our lives, as long as that is strong and is center, then we can have as branches and as, other things, those passions that Joseph had, the connection to beauty, to art, to broadness, to dreams, to creativity. But it is very important that we are rooted in our connection to our values and to God. And Hanukkah celebrates that priority. It celebrates the triumph of our values, those values against the Greek culture. When we have that connection, we can also have those other values. But when we don't have that connection and we just focus on those values, the Greek values, we unfortunately get assimilation and destruction, which is nothing new and has always seen in Jewish history. So the bracha for all of us is that we may always be rooted, always connected, always appreciative of our foundations, of our values. And if we have that, we will always have clarity. and we will always shine the light of our heritage. Chag Sameach.